Hello, it's Marquand, and I just got back from the 7-week trip at Harvard in Cambridge. I've been receiving a lot of questions on how it was, so I came here to answer a few questions. The first question is, what did I do at Harvard? Okay, so while at Harvard, I had 5 weeks of classes, or 2 classes a week, law and psychology and literature. Law and psychology had about 110 people in it, literature had about 10 people in it, and I had to take a lot of tests, do a lot of essays, and just listen to like my professors talk. In literature, I had about 3 essays. The first one I scored about a B plus. The second one I scored an A minus, and the third one I'm still waiting for their score. In law and psychology, I had a midterm and then a final exam. The first one I got a B plus. The second one didn't come out yet. We don't get grades until like next week. And while I wasn't taking classes, I was usually at the gym because we had free access to the gyms, the museums, and the libraries. I played a lot of basketball games with the locals and the students there, like college students too, because they had a lot of different programs, middle school, elementary, all of that. Every day they had a tour. They had tours every day. Harvard was like Disney World for them. And then, um, and then I also went to 2 other Ivy League universities. I went to Brown and Yale. I attended an admissions talk. I'm going to talk about the admissions process in a little bit. And I hung around with friends and we went to dinner. The curfew on weekdays is 11 o'clock p.m., so I didn't really go to sleep until like 1. And on 12:30, on the weekends, it was 12:30 a.m. So most of the time I went to sleep at like 3. Sometimes I didn't stay up all night. Only one time, actually. Okay, so the second part is the admissions process. When I went to Brown, they gave us like this, like what's most important on the admissions process. The first thing is the transcript, your grades. They want you to have like straight A's, or you could do bad in the beginning and increase after a while because they like the upward trend. So aim for like a 4.0. The second is the extracurriculars. Everyone who applies to Harvard, they're at least smart. So they want you to stand out. So take some bomb extracurriculars, but that doesn't mean to just stack up on like 12 extracurriculars. Try to do like 3 or 4 that you'll stick with throughout the all 4 years of high school. I'm doing 10, but I mean I love it, each and every one of them. The third most important thing is the 2 sources of recommendation. They want a counselor's report and they want a teacher's report. So try to like get one from like your junior year because your senior year you have to apply. The fourth most important thing is the SAT or the ACT. Teachers may make it seem that SATs are the most important thing to getting into college. It is important, but it's not the most important thing. Numbers are the most important thing. They want individuals who bring more to the table. A test doesn't correlate to success. And the fifth most important thing is the essay. They're going to read each and every part of your application, and the essay is like usually one of the last things that they read. What did I learn from the Harvard experience is the last question. The most important thing that I learned at Harvard was that there's a difference between a hardworking student and a serious student. There's a huge difference. You could be smart, but Harvard smart is on a whole nother level. You could be smart, but Harvard smart is up here. I was always relatively smart. I have a 3.9 GPA. I was always hardworking, but there's a difference between being hardworking and being Harvard smart. I learned from a lot of people there who scored perfect scores, who had achieved perfect scores on their SATs and the ACTs, who took 9 AP classes in 1 year. I learned that school is their number one priority. I know for me, basketball used to be my priority. School was just like a component of my life. Like I would do my work and I'll be done with it. I'll go to basketball. If you want to go to a good school, Harvard has to be your number, like that college. I'm messing up. That college has to be the number one thing on your mind. You have to constantly work, constantly study. As soon as I got home, I started working on that AP psychology exam that I have a year from now. You have to work on it now. People, especially like Harvard students, they skip grades just so that they can be one step ahead and earning a better SAT score. Like for instance, my friend skipped Algebra 2, went straight to Trig. Like they skip grades in order to better themselves and to be better prepared for the SAT. The second thing that I learned, college professors are not going to baby you. They are not going to baby you. For the first 2 weeks, I took mad L's. I took L after L after L. Like, I was just so confused. Like, the second day of class, I showed up with no work because I didn't know. They don't tell you anything. You have to look online and check the syllabus. If you don't check the syllabus, F's. I had to learn. Like, it almost brought me to tears. I came to many classes with nothing. I was the only person with nothing. They would not baby you. So you have to check the syllabus constantly. You have to check the syllabus constantly. And the last thing that I learned is, as I became a smarter person, as in my efforts of becoming intellectual, I learned that society is corrupt, the criminal justice system is corrupt, and that politics are corrupt. I learned about mass incarceration and law and psychology. I learned about insanity defense. I learned about all sorts of things. My goal is to make society better, because the more that you know, the more that you realize that society is corrupt, and we have to change it. We are the future, us children, us adolescents. We are the future. We have to change it. So we have to constantly read, constantly study, constantly voice, constantly protest. We are the future. So we need to make the world better by studying and educating ourselves, because knowledge is power. Thank you, and thanks again for everyone who sent me money, who donated, who shared. Thank you for everything. I will always remember that. I would like to take the time to commemorate everyone who invested in me. That meant the world to me, and I did it for you.